some other speech is more popular than mine, so... Okay, I guess I'm going to start now, yes? Okay. Or should I wait a bit? No? Okay, let's start. Well, anyway, hi. I've never been in Minsk before. It's my first time, and I really like what I see. So I think I will visit more, hopefully. Well, you cannot really create some kind of industry from scratch every day. And it's definitely not a one-day job anyway. But the thing is, sometimes you can do it. And for me, it was a kind of scary thing. We did awfully lot of things wrong, basically. Everything what could go wrong, we did wrong. Finally, we managed to do some things right too. So basically, I'm going to tell you things what we thought we are going to do right or we have done right. So of course, I'm going to share some stories about this failures as well, but I'm not going to tell you which project it was. So otherwise, you have too much power on me. So who am I? Yeah, well, they say that I'm one of the first user experience specialists in Estonia. Well, there are not many right now either. So it's easy to be someone first or one of the first when country has only like 1.3 million persons and nobody has done something before. So it's relatively easy. That was 10 years ago, and that was of a long time. When I started to do user experience, I didn't call it as a user experience thing. It was just some kind of rules I had to follow to create some user interfaces. Before I did that, first I was hardware specialist, so I was like a young girl going around with high heels and having a screwdriver in my pocket all the time. So it was kind of mixed emotions to all these people whose computer I repaired at the time. Well, that didn't last really long because I really wasn't really good at it. So I had to change something. And then I thought that, oh, software. Yeah, software is much better than hardware, right? So yeah, I went to, teach how to use software for some people. And then I found out that, it doesn't really change a lot. And it's getting really bored to talk all the same things over and over again to all different people and see how they don't know how to use mouse, so they use the mouse like the tick. That was awfully, it didn't felt really well at the time. Then I thought, oh my God, there's so many flaws in the software. I should, there had to be some rules that you can, you have to follow, and then you will create great user interface. Yes. Well, then I started to learn that a bit, and eventually I finished as a product owner of something. So the software was really nice. It tended to sell better when we created better user interfaces for some features. So then I started to learn a bit more and more. In Estonia, you cannot really learn that in university. Today, now you can. We have some master programs, but before you couldn't. So you had to discover everything by yourself. So that was my story. Then we found Trinidad Consulting because we saw that there was so many bad interfaces around, and then we thought that, yes, we have market there. And then we discovered that the rest of the world is doing it, user experience and usability thing, and obviously, we had to do that. Right now I'm a lecturer and still running team in Trinidad Consulting, and we're growing all the time, so everything is nice. But when we started, we were just 3 persons 6 years ago, and we thought that, oh my God, there's never going to be enough market for us. All our dreams were like really big. But anyway, we started it. So when we started 6 years ago, the situation was kind of really sad. Because we thought that, of course, everyone needs our advice at some point. But then we found out that, oh my God, they're thinking that, usability is something like graphical designers do, and this is their magic power. They can do just usable interfaces, and that's it. And that just have to happen. Well, that's not really true, right? So you have to do user research and all this stuff. But when we spoke about usability, that we're a usability company, we do usability, everyone thought that we're like this high skill level superpower graphical designers. Well, the thing is, I cannot really draw. And I was this first usability consultant in Estonia, and I couldn't draw. So I was so angry. Everyone wants me to draw something, and I cannot really draw. Then I started to have my own agenda. So, we do not do any visual design at all. I had the power because I was the only one in my company. So we're not doing visual design. That's it. We're doing only usability, user interface, no visual design. That's it. Then people started to think, okay, you're not doing visual design, what are you doing? What do you do? Is there anyone who is going to buy anything from you? Well, finally, after several meetings and several conferences, people started to understand, okay, there's something more, not just visual design. So some people have heard about usability, but mainly they were graphical designers. So they challenged me all the time. How do you prefer? What kind of interface you like? Do you like Mac interfaces? What is most usable interface? That meant most beautiful interface, though. So that was this place we started. So it didn't encourage us too much at the time. So we thought that, oh my God, I have dragged myself into a really bad situation right now. Now, what will I do? I needed to earn some money. I couldn't just leave my work and just do nothing. Well, then we decided that, well, it doesn't matter. We do it anyway. And we can do some extra services, which is like normal services every software company should use, like information system analysis and things like that. And then prototyping was one thing people found out that, oh, we might need prototyping though. We don't need usability or user experience design. Definitely do not do any research for us. We need prototyping. Well, that was actually a really good point because we could actually do something. So there was many things at the time we did right as a company because you cannot create really industry when you're only the representative of the industry and doing everything wrong, right? So basically we did something right. So here are some things we did right. No sites. So at some point, software companies actually found out that, oh, there's a company who is doing prototyping. And our customers are actually asking prototyping sometimes. But we did all the time this working prototypes. So they decided that, okay, we should use this company to get some leverage with, on the area. We decided we don't do any size. So no strategic partnership or anything like that. We had this blue dream that someday every company, every IT company will, just all the user interface works from us. Well, in Estonia is really small. Of course, my partner in business said that you're never going to get that, ever. It's impossible, and it's not a nice place to be because everyone can beat you all the time. So, but still I had this dream. And the other thing was, rest of the world considered user interface design, usability, and especially user experience design as luxury good. So it was really, really expensive to buy. And everyone wanted to buy like 2 hours of user experience work because it was really expensive. You know how much you can do within 2 hours? Yeah. Do you know how much can you do within 2 hours? Well, you can ask from the customer what kind of customers you have, basically, within these 2 hours. This is the start, this is a good thing. But we decided that we don't want to be this Superman kind of graphical designers who will think that this you should do, and that's it. So we wanted to provide more. We wanted to do 500 plus hours of prototyping maybe, to be sure that what we're working out is actually very good. So that meant it cannot be really luxury good. So we are for everyone, basically was the idea. So we reduced our prices really heavily. And we reduced our prices at the same level as programming hourly fee is. And we still are there. And so that was the first right thing I guess we did. Still, we're keeping ourselves at the same price. When IT companies are hiring their prices, we are doing the same thing. If they are lowering, we're doing the same thing. So no luxury. Of course, if I have to go to some really big company and say to management what they should do, then I'm going to, cost more. But if I do prototyping, then I'm not going to cost that much. One thing we actually learned miserably, through miserable, experience, was that at some point we felt like we are a really, really nice situation and everyone likes us and so on. And then there was economic cool down and nobody ordered user interfaces anymore. At some point we had really a lot of work and the next month we didn't have any work. So that was kind of scary thought that we're going to finish our long-lasting dreams. Well, we changed. Actually, we didn't wait this month to really finish. We started to work right away. What is wrong? Why people don't want to buy us? And the thing was, people didn't really understood why we have to do all this process. Like at the time, we did already like user research, interviewing, user testing, prototyping, navigation, all this stuff. So people didn't really understood why you have to do that long process to, just do one screen and that's it. It should take like 2-4 hours and that's it. For us, it took around 20 or so. So it was really hard to explain why. So we actually challenged ourselves. We challenged, so we said that, okay, well, how much time do you think that we should spend on new user interface? The answer was around like half of the time we spent. So if you don't know what this person does, then you say that, okay, it probably takes half of the time they actually need to spend. So then we went to team and said, okay, well, now we have 10 hours, and we have to provide a screen within these 10 hours. So what do you think we need to do most of the times? They said, okay, well, we should skip user research when, a company or the customer of ours is saying that they know exactly how the customers are acting. And they are willing to pay for us to take this information and use that. Doesn't matter what kind of form it is. Okay, let's try that. And we did. And actually, what we found out, if a company has worked with the customer a really long time, they actually know something about them. Well, it's not always true, but still it was a good start. Now I do only user research when they actually need, and there's actually innovation in need, or we have to improve something very rapidly. So this was one change. So basically what we did, we skipped every extra thing we had to do by the book, and we tried to understand which is most important for us at this project at this time. So basically we got this time reduced rapidly. We still did almost everything, but we didn't have to go that deep as book says. User experience company. Well, there was a day we started with visual design because everyone was asking, and the time was bad and we didn't have much of the work, and of course we started to do something what our customers asked. Well, it came out it was a really good idea. Of course, I didn't start to do it myself. We had at the time some really good people for that. They were actually really good. Well, we didn't hire a creative director anyway, and we still don't have it, and we're probably not going to have it too. It's another really long story I can share later, but right now we're in time. So we do visual design now. The other thing that we didn't do, we started with HTML, because we found out that after our great visual design, when developers, did their part, there was nothing left from our great visual design, because, of course, functionality worked, but it didn't really seem like a similar thing. So we thought that, okay, that's really not so nice if they do that, and we cannot really post anything in our website as a good example of our work, because, it didn't really was our work. There was some things. So we said, well, okay, we've tried to find out what is the reason. And we found out that every programmer, true programmer, developer, architect, they really do hate HTML. By its sense, it's not really truly programming language. It's just HTML. Every monkey can do that, So we said, okay, don't worry. We will do HTML for you. We will be fast, and you can use that, and we will help you to, put it to software. So it came out really well, actually. Of course, at this time, we didn't really respect the developers anymore, because, they fight it all the time. We did all this great work, and they decided to change everything, because they just, didn't like what we did, maybe. So anyway, the functionality and then the layouts of the products started to change a lot. The thing was, it was about our attitude. We didn't like them, they didn't like us, and so on, fair. And then we actually decided if we want user interfaces created as we actually designed them, we need to be really nice with these people first, because they have the last say about the thing. So we started to talk more with them and consider the ideas more. So now we have a process when, before even prototyping, we go to programmers and ask, well, we have this kind of functionality. Do you have any pre-written components? Or do you have some special requirements? And we actually involve them daily customer discussion boards. So basically they can always say that, okay, we understand that this is really nice, idea, but actually it takes 2 months of programming work, and I assure you really need that. So that actually, now we're cooperating with them, and we have our trust fund with every development company. So if we consider them, then really desperate times, we can say, it has to be like this, trust me. Well, that means we reduce this fund, but then we have to earn some trust more. So we try to keep it balanced. Science versus business, yeah, that was about this book. Well, before we did everything, it was in the books. Now we understand if you don't need statistical p-value to be, this under 0.05%, then you don't know, you don't need most of the things. You don't need usability lab, which is really expensive to keep up and running because you don't use that much. So there are many things businesses don't really need. They don't need to be absolutely sure about something. They can change it later. It's better done than perfect, basically. So yeah, it hurt a bit, but now we create better values for the businesses. Yeah, well, we have these iterations all the time with our customers, so we have to discuss everything several times before we actually can say that it is ready. So we don't surprise them. Ta-da, this is what we did. We don't do that. What happened that we found out that we cannot sometimes really explain why this kind of form is better than the other kind of form. So we stopped fighting. If we couldn't explain why this is better than that, we used what customer wanted. Of course, we learned a lot from it, and now we can explain. But the thing was, there's no point of fighting if you cannot really argue. So we did user testing and found out which one is better, and that actually ended most of the fighting. No surprises, yeah. This ta-da moment is usually, this is meaning that now it is time to fight for the customer. So we didn't do that. We actually, go through to all the different versions. Sometimes we create 26 or 30 different versions of the same page if customers really want to. So by the time we are finishing, they know everything about this interface. And they're sick and tired of us. So basically, they take everything what we have finished at the time. And they know how to fight for it if some developers go and say, oh, we want to do this instead of that. Yeah, well, our documents were really awful at the beginning. And then we thought, well, we're a user experience and usability company. Actually, we should care about our own outcomes, usability. So we should understand who is going to use this document and why. So that was really important. What more? Oh, yeah, now we're getting to industry. Well, our company worked, but how did we actually manage to get all these customers? Well, of course, we started marketing really early, like minus first day, we already marketed our new services. But I think the most important part was when we spoke with government, some people from our government, and we asked, why? Why are government websites so awful? So what they said is, well, of course we want them to be really nice and beautiful. And we're ordering a lot of work. But, as we cannot really define what is usable website, we cannot really ask or put it into the contract of, development companies and say that, oh, we want that. Because, everyone understands usability or usable interface kind of differently. So development company can say, yeah, this is usable. I think it's really usable. It should be like that. And then customer feels, it's not really. But okay, as I cannot really, fight with them, I have to accept that. So what we did some research. What is mostly wrong on government websites? And we did some, guidelines. Actually, government paid for us to do that. And that was really nice at the time. We didn't have much of the work then. And what happened next was amazing. If government started to order websites, they said, according to this document, you have to do, and you have to actually have interaction designer in your team. So, oh my God, we had so much work, because every IT company came to us, oh my God, we don't have any interaction designers, can you do something with that? Of course we could. I mean, we were so happy about that. So that was something we did right. And actually still government institutions are like our almost biggest sector, and most of the work comes from there. Of course, I mean guidelines, really. As a user experience person, I don't really like guidelines because, they don't really, you can follow the guidelines, but you might not get usability right? So we actually put some requirements for the project team and project as well to these requirements. Not just user interface components, but also you should do user testing, for example. So that was something right. Now we follow the process, but government doesn't really, show that document to everyone when they're ordering, obviously. We actually said that, now you're there where every institution understands that they have to order interaction design as well. So you don't need this anymore. They are really old. So it changed. Well, yeah, private companies. We didn't figure out that for a really long time, actually. We didn't understand why government is ordering and private sector is not ordering. Then we discovered the pain, money. They found out that agile development is pretty costly way to try everything out. Because, development hour costs more and you actually need to spend more development time because, everything, rest of the software has to also work when you change user interface. So we said, okay, but prototyping is really nice. We don't program it. We just move in Axure fields. And it's really cheap and fast. And if you want to, we can do many, many different versions. It doesn't cost you more. And this is working now. And we can say that if you get prototype from us, it is user tested. So if you develop by that, you don't have to start changing it right away. And of course, we started to speak, business language as well, because then we understood that we are not just creating user interfaces, we're creating value for the company. And when they do something right, they will get more money or spend less or whatever. So we started to speak business language because managers really don't care about usability. I mean, why should they care? They have 10 fires out there. They have to stop. People are leaving from the company. They need new people. They need to fire some people. They need to go to accountant. They need to go to bank to get some loans. They need to speak with government. So they have so many more things to worry about. And if somebody's come to, usability of the web is really not so nice. Really, you even cannot define why it's not that nice. And I should start doing something because of that. No, I'm not giving this hard-earned money to you because you cannot really describe what you're doing and why. So we started to speak business. And of course, we had to understand that there's no perfect user interface. You can always do something better for someone, at least. Even you have one button, then they say that, it's this common flaw of usability is under-designed. People don't understand what this big red button does. We did word usability from first year. And actually, it is still a free event. It's really popular in Estonia. We started with 40 persons. And from this event, we have had so much publicity. And people understanding that there's something which solves their problems. before they even didn't knew that they had these problems. So we started to do that, and today we're actually bringing so many people from outside Estonia to actually speak there, to share their knowledge. So that means that we can actually learn from that too. And of course, we give lots of lectures to ourselves. At the beginning, we thought that, we can do something, and this is really personal, secret weapon of ours. Nobody else knows how to do these things, right? Well, that's wrong, because if you cannot really share the knowledge, then people won't understand what you're doing anyway. So we put up some trainings. We will do trainings, everyone can buy them, and we will give everything we know about the subject. And actually that made us also really popular, because after training, everyone believed us. This is how you should do that. And right now we are in the position where, if customer starts to argue with visual design company, and we are not involved in this work at all, they're saying, Trinidad said that it should be differently. And we don't even know them, but they're saying that, and this is argument for them. So we are in this position because of we shared so much free or paid information everyone who wanted to have. We're not actually very good with blog writing, though. And this is another thing. Well, everyone, actually they challenge us. Okay, well, why should I buy you instead of some other people? Well, we said, oh, okay, well, you can buy from anyone who knows how to do that. I can actually give you information how to understand is it well done or not. And what we did with the IT companies, we said, you don't have to hire us to do good user interface. Actually, everyone from your team is responsible to doing something good for the user interface or usability point or for the users. So basically, we don't have to do user testing for you. It's okay. You can order. If you don't have time, we can do it for you. But you don't have to. Actually go to the street, take 5 persons, and give the interface, give the task, and just see what is going to happen. Don't interrupt, don't say anything, just see. And actually some people did. And they understood that, okay, they don't need to hire this graphical design superhero. They can just do it ourselves, and everyone can actually be good in it. Of course, they have to practice to be very good, but still, it's not anything secret or anything like that. And that actually gave us more trust. So that's why people are actually trusting user experience people more in Estonia. Then actually what happened, all these graphical design companies were saying that they are doing this perfect usability. They stop doing that because there's nothing special anymore. You have to just you have to follow some rules, you have to do some tasks, and that's it. They understand that there's no point of, sell this thing, like usability. Yeah, and now we provide some free trainings and services as well, but this is a small part of our work. And now, public sector orders interaction design a lot. It's actually a usual thing. They want to see all the CVs and everything. Accessibility is also required. And usability is evaluated. And they understand that the interface patterns are not really helping much. They are important. I mean, it's better to use interface patterns if you don't know the user. But sometimes they are not working. User experience industry, well, still not too much competition, but we have real first master program in university now. We didn't have that before. So this is win-win-win. And we actually lecture some subjects in the universities, also win-win. So we can hire someone who knows something about user experience. We don't have to train them all. And everyone understands it's not an art activity. It doesn't happen itself. And if you don't know the real business value, then you shouldn't do that. Yeah, we have 18 version now. We started as a free one. We have, got some money. And we do 3 things. And startups are actually saying that they need user experience, but they don't know why. So that we can provide 4-hour free consultancy to every startup who wants to have it. They don't have to give us any money. But they don't have money for user experience too, most of the times anyway. And because of them, we can actually do user experience lean approach, which is really nice. Private sector, well, we do lots of work with websites and custom software. Many private sector companies still don't know that they can order it, and they are deathly feared of research. If you're saying research, they stop talking with you. So we're doing some interviews. It works. And they actually need a lot of time from us, but they don't have dedicated teams, so there's lots of business there. Yeah, this ICT company. Agile subject versus waterfall is really painful. Some know how to order, no dedicated teams still. Have to do attitude, so basically that helps a lot, for us at least. And some understand the benefits too. And what we do most of the times, user testing, prototyping, qualitative research, storyboarding is a hit. Of course, sometimes we do some focus groups and other things, but these are most common activities someone is ordering. And the gamification and pet design actually becomes really a hit. And we are going to have a narrow research possibilities actually in Estonia right now, but we're trying to create it within our team as well. So that allows us for games, so we can do usability and user testing for games. And we are selling this right now, so for the big companies. Okay, so I have finished all my time possible can. Overtime, yeah. Is there any, can I ask some questions? Or do you want to ask some questions, or? No? You? No, we created it in Estonia. No, not the entire world, but we just started events in Estonia. We started 6 years ago, and now it was 6th time this 2 weeks ago. 40 persons, and last time it was 430 registered people, and actually 200 came up and to there, and over 1,000 persons looked or saw it online. So it was really popular. So. Yes. Well, that is basically a right approach, which means that we test with one person, we change prototype, and then test next version. And we don't create heavy documentation, we actually only create bullet points, what you should change. Of course, we do regular normal user testing as well, where big documentation is coming with you, and you can get all these videos and everything, but right now we also do both things. Okay? So anyway, if you have questions, come by, let's speak, and I'm going to be here full day long.